If someone had told me 5 years ago that the man I loved, the man I built my life around, would one day shatter my world with a single sentence, I would have laughed. He was warm hands on cold mornings. He was forehead kisses before work. He was, "I'll never hurt you," whispered against my skin. But that was before the call. Before the little boy on the screen said, "Dad, when are you coming back?" Before I flew across the world and met a woman who looked just as broken as I felt. Before I realized I was the other woman. Not a mistress. Not a fling. A second wife. And the truth? He didn't lose control. He chose this. This is my story. Please pay attention so that you will learn from it. I met Daniel on a rainy Tuesday in London. He was standing under the awning of a coffee shop, trench coat soaked, umbrella useless in the wind. I offered him a spot under mine, and he smiled like I just saved his life. That smile, warm, sincere, a little crooked, hooked me right away. Daniel was everything I thought I wanted. Thoughtful, articulate, spontaneous in the best way. He had the kind of laughter that made strangers turn and smile. We dated for just under a year before he proposed during a weekend trip to the Lake District. No big gestures, just him and me on a quiet hilltop, his hands shaking as he held out the ring. We married in a small ceremony. His family couldn't travel from the States, he said. His work with international investments made it hard to coordinate. My family, small and scattered, came together like a quilt, worn but comforting. I didn't mind that his side was absent. We were enough. For 2 years, we built a life. A flat in Notting Hill. Sunday morning pancakes. Quiet evenings reading on the sofa, legs tangled. I never imagined there could be anything hidden behind his sleepy smiles and gentle touch. But lies were thin with time. It began with a phone call. He was in New York on business. He traveled often, so it wasn't unusual. But one night, as I folded laundry and watched reruns, his phone lit up. Normally, he kept it close, but he left it behind by accident. A notification. Incoming call, Anna Peru. Peruvian flag. I stared. It rang twice, then stopped. Then again, 15 minutes later. I didn't answer. Instead, I checked his WhatsApp. Guilt flared as I hovered, but curiosity swallowed it whole. The message thread with Ana was in Spanish. I'm fluent enough. Ana, te extrañamos. Cuando regresas? Martín pregunta por ti cada día. We miss you. When are you coming back? Martín asks for you every day. The room swayed. I read on, trying to breathe. Photos. A boy, maybe 4. Curly-haired, dark-eyed, beaming in every shot. One video had Daniel reading him a bedtime story in Spanish, voice soft, full of love. I dropped the phone. My heart fractured in real time. When he came home, I didn't confront him. Not right away. I watched, listened. I noticed the way his eyes dulled when I mentioned kids. The way he changed the subject whenever I brought up visiting Peru, where he said he had a business partner. I traced the cracks in our life, the little inconsistencies I'd ignored. A week later, I booked a ticket to Lima. I told him I was visiting an old college friend. He kissed my forehead, told me to be safe, and went back to his emails. When I landed, I rented a car and followed the address I'd found in a bank statement weeks ago. It was a modest house with chipped paint and a red gate. I sat across the street for hours until a woman stepped out holding a child. Ana. And Martín. He looked just like Daniel. My legs trembled as I approached. Excuse me, I said in Spanish. Are you Ana? She frowned. Yes. I'm Daniel's wife. I still remember the sound her keys made as they hit the ground. She let me in. Her hands shook as she poured tea. We sat on her couch while Martín napped in the next room. He told me you were dead, she said, eyes red-rimmed. That you died years ago. That he stayed in London because there were no memories left there. I stared. He told me he was single. No children. Said his family was small, all back in the States. Ana gave a bitter laugh. He never lived in the States. Born and raised here. Went to university in London. That's where we met. How long were you together? She hesitated. 8 years. Martín is 5. He left when he was 3. Said he had to settle things abroad. Said he'd send for us eventually. Then the calls got shorter. Less frequent. My hands curled into fists. He married me 2 years ago. She closed her eyes. So that's why. We sat in silence, two women tethered by the same man's lies. When Martin shuffled out in his pajamas, hair tousled, he blinked up at me. Mama, quién es ella? Who is she? Before Anna could answer, I knelt. I'm a friend of your daddy's, I said softly. You look just like him. He beamed. When I returned to London, Daniel was waiting. He hugged me, talked about dinner, completely unaware the ground had shifted beneath him. I let him talk, watching him like a stranger. Finally, I said, How old is Martin? He froze, just for a second. Then he smiled, too quickly. Who? Anna's son. Your son. The color drained from his face. He didn't deny it. Just sat down, crumpling like wet paper. I wanted to tell you, he whispered. I didn't mean for it to go this far. Didn't mean to fall in love with me. Didn't mean to marry me while your wife and child waited in another country. He buried his face in his hands. I married you because I loved you, he said. But I loved her too. I got tired of choosing. The betrayal hit like fire in my lungs. You lied to us both, I snapped. You left your child behind. You played husband in two worlds. And for what? To feel loved. To avoid responsibility. I was going to fix it, he muttered. Fix what? Your double life. There was nothing left to say. I left that night. Took only a suitcase and my dignity. Divorce followed, messy in public. He tried to settle it quietly, begged me not to go to court. But the lies had cut so deep I needed the world to know. Anna and I stayed in touch. Strange, maybe, but we were the only ones who truly understood what had been done to us. Over time, I built something new. A home for myself, alone but safe. I found work in advocacy, helping women who'd been deceived, abandoned. I turned pain into purpose. Sometimes, Anna sends photos of Martin. He's learning to ride a bike now. She says he barely remembers his father. Daniel tried to reach out once. A letter, full of apologies, promises, regrets. I didn't read past the first line. Some stories don't deserve a sequel. Thank you for watching. Kindly like this video and subscribe to my channel if you found this story interesting.